No one is coming to rescue you. No one's going to build your dream, fix your mindset, or fight your battles. That responsibility is yours, and always has been. How long will you keep waiting for someone else to change your life? How many dreams will you delay because of fear, doubt, or comfort? This audiobook is a wake-up call to stop waiting, stop blaming, and start taking full ownership of your life. You owe it to yourself to rise above excuses, break your patterns, and create the future you deserve. This is not about perfection. It's about power. Your power. Let's take control, starting now. Chapter 1. Realizing no one is coming to save you. There comes a moment in life when you have to face the truth. No one is coming to fix your life for you. Not your parents, not your friends, not a boss, a partner, or some lucky break. If you're waiting for someone to hand you your dream, you'll be waiting forever. The change you want starts with you. It's a hard truth, but it's also freeing. Because once you stop waiting, you can start acting. You stop blaming the world. You stop making excuses. You realize that your life is your responsibility. And while that might feel heavy at first, it's also powerful because it means you're in control. You can't keep hoping someone else will tell you what to do, lift you up, or open doors for you. Life doesn't work like that. The people who grow, succeed, and build powerful lives are the ones who take action without waiting for permission. You already have what you need to begin. You have ideas. You have strength. You have time. Maybe not all the time in the world, but you have today. And if you use today well, you build momentum. You create opportunity. You take the first step toward the life you want. Stop waiting for the perfect time. It doesn't exist. There will always be fear. There will always be doubt. But the longer you wait for a hero, the longer you delay becoming your own. You don't need saving. You need to decide. Taking control starts with a mindset shift. You move from "I hope things get better" to "I will make things better." That one shift rewires your entire life. You go from waiting to working, from stuck to strong, from lost to leading yourself. No one else can feel your calling. No one else carries your vision. That burden and that gift is yours alone. If you don't take it seriously, no one else will. But if you do, everything changes. You owe it to yourself to rise, to stand up, to take the first step, even if it's small, even if you're scared. Because the moment you do, you stop living on autopilot and start living on purpose. And that's when life truly begins. Chapter 2. Taking full responsibility for your life. The moment you take full responsibility for your life is the moment everything begins to change. Not just a little, completely. It's the moment you stop pointing fingers and start owning your choices, your progress, your peace, your future. It all begins with the decision to take control. It's easy to blame your past, your environment, or other people for where you are. But blame doesn't build a better life. Ownership does. Even if it's not your fault, it's still your responsibility to grow from it. That's what strong people do. They don't wait for justice. They build their way forward. Responsibility isn't a punishment. It's power. It means you are in charge. You decide how to respond, how to think, how to move. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be honest. When you stop making excuses, you start making progress. You can't control everything, but you can control how you show up. You can control your energy, your habits, your attitude. Those things may seem small, but they are everything. They're the building blocks of a life you're proud to live. When you take responsibility, you stop giving other people control over your story. You stop waiting for someone else to do the work. You become the author, the director, the main character in your life. That's not just empowering, it's life-changing. Taking responsibility means asking tough questions. What am I avoiding? What could I do better? Where am I holding myself back? The answers might be uncomfortable, but they're necessary. Growth never comes from comfort. It comes from truth. People who grow take responsibility for their mistakes, but also for their potential. They don't just apologize when they mess up. They also push harder when they know they can do more. Responsibility is not just fixing the past, it's owning the future. No one is coming to push you every day. No one is going to force you to be disciplined. It's your job to be consistent. Your job to get up when you're tired. Your job to keep promises to yourself, even when no one is watching. You become unstoppable the moment you stop waiting for someone else to fix things. You don't need perfect conditions. You don't need motivation. You need a decision to own your life, no matter how messy it's been. Taking responsibility isn't about guilt. It's about growth. It's about stepping up, standing tall, and saying, "This is my life. I may not control what happens, but I control what I do next." And that decision, that commitment, will carry you further than anything else ever could. Chapter 3. The Power of Personal Standards. Your life rises or falls based on the standards you set for yourself. Not the goals you talk about, but the level you refuse to drop below, no matter what. Personal standards are the invisible rules you live by, and they quietly shape everything about you. High standards aren't about being perfect. They're about refusing to settle. They're the reason you choose discipline over excuses. They're the reason you walk away from negativity. And they're the reason you keep going, even when no one's clapping for you. When you raise your standards, your actions change. You stop tolerating bad habits. You stop allowing people to treat you poorly. You stop wasting time on things that don't align with your purpose. You set a new baseline, and that new baseline becomes your normal. Your standards show up in how you do the little things, how you speak to yourself, how you show up when no one's watching, how you handle pressure. People with strong personal standards do the right thing, even when it's uncomfortable. If you want to change your life, change what you're willing to accept from yourself. Average effort leads to average outcomes. But when you demand more from yourself, not out of hate, but out of love, you begin to unlock your true potential. You don't need someone to push you every day when your standards are high. You don't need motivation to stay consistent. When your standards are non-negotiable, showing up becomes automatic. It becomes part of who you are, not just something you do. Raising your standards will feel uncomfortable at first. It will require saying no to things you used to say yes to. It might mean waking up earlier, working longer, thinking deeper. But that discomfort is the beginning of your transformation. Your standards should reflect your vision, not your feelings. If you only act when you feel like it, you'll stay stuck. But when your behavior matches the person you want to become, you grow. Even when it's hard, even when no one's watching. You teach people how to treat you by what you tolerate. When you raise your standards, your circle changes. Low-energy people may drift away, but high-standard people will find you. Because like attracts like. Your energy sets the tone. Personal standards protect your future. They keep you on track when life gets chaotic. They keep you grounded when you feel overwhelmed. And they remind you day after day that you're building something greater than comfort. You're building a life you're proud of. Chapter 4. Building self-discipline from within. Self-discipline isn't about punishment, it's about power. It's the ability to control your actions, even when your emotions try to take over. When you build discipline from within, you no longer need motivation to move. You move because you made a promise to yourself. Discipline starts with small choices. Waking up when you said you would, finishing what you started, saying no when distractions call. These moments may seem small, but they stack up, and over time, they build an unstoppable version of you. You won't always feel like doing what needs to be done. That's the truth. Discipline doesn't ask how you feel. It asks what you decided. And the decision to act, despite the mood you're in, is where true strength is built. No one sees the hours you spend staying consistent. No one sees the internal battles you fight. But self-discipline isn't about being seen. It's about being solid. It's about doing the work when the world is quiet and you're the only one holding yourself accountable. Start by doing the hard thing first, the uncomfortable task, the thing you've been avoiding. That single act of control builds confidence. It sends a message to your mind. I lead, not my excuses. I decide, not my feelings. Self-discipline from within is stronger than external pressure. When your standards come from your heart, not from what others expect, you build a foundation that can't be shaken. You don't need to be watched. You don't need to be pushed. You show up because it's who you are. Don't wait for the perfect moment to practice discipline. The perfect moment is now, right in the middle of your excuses, your doubt, your distraction. That's where discipline is trained. In the chaos, in the choice, in the now. Building discipline is like building muscle. It starts weak, it feels shaky. But the more you use it, the stronger it gets. Each act of control is a representative. Each rep builds a habit. And each habit builds a life that reflects your values, not your urges. Sometimes you'll fall short. That's okay. Discipline doesn't mean perfection. It means persistence. What matters is not if you fall, but if you get up and try again. Every time you do, you strengthen your mental muscle a little more. When you build self-discipline from within, you stop chasing results and start chasing character. Because deep down, it's not just about reaching goals. It's about becoming the kind of person who can't be stopped. Chapter 5. Reprogramming your mind for ownership. Taking ownership of your life begins in the mind. Before you can lead your actions, you have to lead your thoughts. The way you think determines what you accept, what you pursue, and what you walk away from. If your mind is programmed to blame, complain, or delay, your life will stay stuck, no matter how much you want more. Ownership is a mindset that says, if it's going to change, it starts with me. This isn't about controlling everything around you. It's about mastering your response to everything that happens. Life will throw chaos your way, but ownership trains your mind to respond with purpose, not panic. To reprogram your mind, you have to challenge old thoughts. Every time you hear yourself say, "It's not my fault," or "There's nothing I can do," stop. Ask yourself, is that true, or is it just comfortable? Growth never comes from staying in mental autopilot. Ownership requires awareness. Affirmations are more than words. They are mental software. Tell yourself daily, I take full responsibility. I create my outcomes. I don't wait, I work. When you repeat thoughts that empower you, your brain starts to believe them. And what your brain believes, your life begins to reflect. You must let go of the victim mindset. Bad things may have happened to you, but you don't have to stay in that story. Reprogramming your mind means writing a new script. One where you're not just surviving, you're rising. One where you stop reliving pain and start creating purpose. Visualize ownership daily. See yourself making hard decisions. Picture yourself staying calm under pressure, showing up with integrity, leading your actions with intent. Your imagination trains your nervous system. If your mind rehearses ownership, your reality will follow. Language is the code of the mind. Change phrases like, I have to, into I choose to. Swap, why is this happening to me, with what can I learn from this? These shifts may seem small, but they build a new framework for power, clarity, and direction. You are not your past programming. Maybe you were raised around blame. Maybe you've spent years doubting yourself. That doesn't have to define your future. Your brain is flexible. You can rewire it through repetition, reflection, and daily responsibility. Journaling is a tool to rewrite your mental patterns. Every night ask yourself, where did I give away my power today? Where did I take full responsibility? What will I do differently tomorrow? These questions hold you accountable and help you break free from unconscious habits. Reprogramming your mind requires discipline. Your old thoughts will try to come back. They'll whisper comfort, excuses, and fear. But you are no longer that person. You've outgrown those patterns. And each time you replace a limiting thought with a strong one, you reclaim your power. The longer you stay in ownership mode, the more natural it becomes. You'll start making decisions faster. You'll stop waiting for permission. You'll stop being surprised by setbacks and start responding to them with strength. This is how leaders are made, not by chance, but by choice. When your mind is fully aligned with ownership, you stop surviving life and start designing it. You realize that your habits, your focus, your effort, they're all under your command. That's where real freedom lives, not in control of everything, but in control of yourself. Chapter 6. Letting go of approval and validation. One of the biggest mental traps we fall into is living for other people's approval. We want to be accepted, liked, understood. It's natural, but dangerous, because the more you seek validation from others, the further you drift from your true self. When you build your life around what people think, you give them control over your confidence. One negative comment can ruin your day. One silent look can stop you from trying. But freedom begins when you stop needing permission to be who you are. Letting go of approval doesn't mean you stop caring about people. It means you stop depending on their opinions to define your worth. You can still love, connect, and listen, but you no longer let praise or criticism shape your path. Most people are too focused on themselves to care about your choices. The fear of judgment is often bigger than the judgment itself. While you hesitate, they forget. While you doubt, they move on. Don't waste your life performing for an audience that isn't even watching. You don't need everyone to like you. You need to respect yourself. Because the truth is, not everyone will understand your path. Some people will misunderstand your silence, your ambition, your discipline, and that's okay. You're not here to be understood. You're here to grow. The need for constant approval will keep you stuck. It will make you shrink when you should rise. It will make you say yes when you mean no. And over time, you'll lose your voice, your passion, and your power. Reclaim it by standing firm in who you are. Validation addiction is sneaky. It hides behind compliments, social media likes, and "am I doing okay" moments. Pay attention to where your confidence is coming from. If it depends on applause, it's fragile. Build the kind of confidence that comes from keeping promises to yourself. You'll never be free if you keep chasing applause. True freedom comes from living by your own values, not by the expectations of people who don't live your life. Every time you choose your standards over their opinions, you step into real power. Start trusting your inner compass. If something feels right, follow it. If something feels wrong, step back. You don't need someone else to agree. You don't need a crowd to clap. Your own clarity is enough. Letting go of approval means accepting that some people will not like your boundaries, your ambition, or your growth. They may call you selfish, distant, or arrogant, but you know the truth. You're just focused. You're just finally putting yourself first. People-pleasing may bring short-term peace, but it leads to long-term regret. Saying yes to everyone else often means saying no to your goals, your health, your time. Choose yourself. You don't have to please everyone to live a meaningful life. You'll grow faster when you stop explaining yourself. Not everyone deserves an explanation. Some people won't understand until they've grown too. Let them go. Focus on your journey. And trust that the right people will respect it. Validation is not a reliable fuel source. Some days you'll get it, some days you won't. But if your mission is strong, your passion will carry you farther than praise ever could. Let your vision be louder than their approval. Give yourself the validation you seek from others. Say, I'm proud of me. Say, that was hard and I handled it. Say, I'm not perfect, but I'm growing. The more you validate yourself, the less you'll chase it from anyone else. Letting go of approval isn't easy, but it's worth it. It's how you find peace in your decisions. It's how you gain confidence in your path. And it's how you finally stop living to impress and start living to express the truth of who you are. Chapter 7. Making decisions that honor your future. Every decision you make is a vote for the kind of future you want. It's easy to focus on what feels good right now, but true growth comes when you choose what your future self will thank you for, not what your present self finds comfortable. The most powerful people aren't always the most talented, they're the most intentional. They make choices based on who they want to become, not just how they feel in the moment. That's what separates people who grow from people who stay stuck. Making future-focused decisions means delaying gratification. It's skipping the quick reward for the long-term gain. It's choosing the hard workout over the extra sleep, the study session over the scroll, the discipline over the distraction. That's how momentum is built. When you learn to pause before reacting, you gain control. Ask yourself, does this decision move me closer to my goals or further away? That one question can change the entire direction of your life. It brings clarity where emotions bring chaos. Your future is shaped by what you tolerate today. Every time you let a bad habit slide, you reinforce a weaker version of yourself. But when you take action that feels hard but right, you upgrade your identity. Bit by bit, step by step. Small decisions matter more than we think. Waking up on time, choosing a healthier meal, saying no to gossip, speaking up for yourself. These don't make headlines, but they shape your path. Greatness is built in the quiet decisions no one sees. To honor your future, you must break the habit of seeking comfort in every choice. Comfort keeps you in the same cycle. Growth lives on the other side of discomfort. Start doing the things that stretch you, even when they scare you. Discipline is choosing between what you want now and what you want most. Most people never get what they truly want because they keep settling for what's easy. But your future deserves more than shortcuts and excuses. It deserves your full commitment. Think about the life you say you want. The peace, the confidence, the success. Every choice you make is either building that life or betraying it. You don't get the life you dream of. You get the life you work for, one decision at a time. Start filtering your decisions through a new lens. Will this help me grow? If the answer is no, it's not worth your energy. Your time is your most valuable resource. Don't spend it on habits, people, or routines that pull you backward. Your future isn't built on big moments. It's built on consistent ones. The daily choices to show up, stay focused, keep going. These are the real turning points. Make them count. Make them reflect the future you're working toward. Stop saying someday. Someday doesn't exist. There's only now. Every time you put off a decision that could move you forward, you strengthen the habit of delay. Start choosing now. Now is where change begins. Let go of the fear of missing out. What you're really missing out on is your potential when you keep saying yes to what drains you. Honor your future by protecting your energy. You can't grow in every direction at once. Your values should guide your decisions, not trends, pressure, or popularity. What matters most to you? What kind of life do you want to build? Let your answers shape your path, not the noise around you. You can't build a powerful future with weak decisions. Every excuse chips away at your progress. Every lazy choice becomes a pattern. But every strong decision builds strength. Even when it's small, even when it's silent. It's okay to say no. It's okay to walk away from comfort, from people who don't understand your path, from old versions of you that no longer serve where you're going. Saying no to what no longer fits is saying yes to your future. Reflection helps sharpen your decisions. At the end of each day, ask, did my choices reflect my goals? If not, adjust, learn, try again. You don't need to be perfect, just consistent and self-aware. Celebrate the wins, no matter how small. Choosing to focus, choosing to say no, choosing to show up when it was easier not to. These decisions matter. Acknowledge them. That recognition fuels more good choices. Your future is not some distant dream. It's being shaped right now. By what you allow, by what you prioritize, by what you commit to. If you want to meet the best version of yourself, start making decisions that lead directly to them. You owe it to your future to be intentional today, to stop waiting for perfect conditions, to stop acting out of impulse. Your future self is counting on you. Lead with purpose, choose with clarity, and never forget, every step you take is either investing in your future or walking away from it. Chapter 8. Creating a life that reflects your worth. Your life is a mirror. It reflects how you see yourself, what you believe you deserve, and what you're willing to tolerate. If you want a life that honors your value, it begins with seeing that value clearly and refusing to settle for anything less. Too often, people live small because they think small. They say, I'm not ready, I'm not good enough, or this is just how things are. But when you start honoring your worth, your standards rise, your voice grows stronger, and your path begins to expand. Creating a life that reflects your worth doesn't mean chasing perfection. It means designing a life that aligns with your truth. It means choosing people, habits, environments, and goals that support your growth, not sabotage it. Start with your space. Your surroundings affect your mindset. Declutter your room, your phone, your routine. Fill your world with reminders of who you are becoming, not who you used to be. Let your environment reflect the future you're working toward. Your schedule also speaks volumes. Are you filling your time with distractions or with activities that build you? Someone who values their future uses their hours with purpose. They plan. They say no. They protect their focus because their goals matter. The way you speak to yourself is the foundation of a worthy life. If your self-talk is filled with doubt, shame, and fear, your choices will shrink. But if you speak with belief and direction, your decisions grow braver. You stop just existing. You start leading. Surround yourself with people who respect your journey. A life that reflects your worth can't be built in toxic circles. Let go of those who drain you. Connect with those who challenge, uplift, and remind you of your power, not your past. Boundaries are not selfish, they're necessary. You cannot build a worthy life if you're constantly drained by people, commitments, or guilt. Boundaries protect your energy, your time, and your peace. Set them firmly. Enforce them without apology. Money, goals, and success matter, but they don't define your worth. They're a reflection of your effort, not your identity. A worthy life is built on how you think, how you treat others, and how you carry yourself when no one's watching. Stop waiting for someone else to validate your value. No title, relationship, or recognition can define you. That work starts inside. You are already worthy, whether or not anyone sees it yet. Your job is to start living like it. Your habits are small daily votes for the kind of life you believe you deserve. Skipping what matters, delaying what's important, avoiding what's hard, these are signs of disconnect. But every disciplined choice, no matter how small, tells your future, I'm worth it. Confidence isn't about being loud, it's about being rooted. When you know your worth, you don't need to beg, prove, or chase. You walk into rooms knowing what you bring. You stop over-explaining and start focusing on what aligns with your vision. Living a life that reflects your worth requires courage. Courage to leave what no longer fits. Courage to say yes to opportunities that scare you. Courage to believe in a version of yourself you haven't met yet, but deeply want to become. Make decisions that your future self will respect. Ask, would the best version of me choose this? If the answer is no, pause, redirect, choose again. This is how you build a life with intention, not one built on autopilot. Rest is part of honoring your worth. You don't have to grind 24/7 to prove you deserve success. Rest with intention, sleep without guilt, say no without explanation. Your value doesn't decrease when you choose peace. Create rituals that remind you of who you are. Morning routines, daily affirmations, quiet walks, creative expression. These are not luxury, they're anchors. They connect you to your deeper self, and that connection keeps you grounded. Be honest with yourself. Are you building a life based on your truth or other people's expectations? You cannot reflect your worth if you're living someone else's dream. Be bold enough to choose your own path, even if it's unpopular. Let go of anything that makes you feel small, thoughts, habits, or relationships. Shrinking to fit in is not the same as being accepted. You don't have to dim your light to make others comfortable. Shine, and let the right ones rise with you. Progress over perfection. You don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to keep moving with purpose. A worthy life isn't about being flawless. It's about being honest, aligned, and unshakably committed to growth. You are not here to survive. You are here to build, to create, to rise. You are here to reflect your full worth in every part of your life, how you speak, how you act, how you live. And when you do, the world begins to reflect it right back to you. Chapter 9. Staying committed when no one's watching. True commitment is tested in silence. It's easy to show up when people are watching, when applause is guaranteed, or when validation is waiting. But the real question is, who are you when no one's looking? What do you do when no one will ever know? Success is not built in the spotlight. It's built in the shadows, in early mornings, in late nights, in quiet decisions that seem to make no difference today, but compound into something powerful tomorrow. The most successful people keep showing up, even when the world is silent. When you're alone, your character speaks loudest. Your actions become pure. No need to impress, no one to perform for. Just you and your discipline. Just you and your goals. That's when it becomes real. That's where transformation begins. Discipline behind closed doors becomes confidence in public. When you train yourself to work hard without attention, you build a trust in yourself that can't be shaken. You don't need reminders. You don't need cheers. You are your own accountability. There will be days when it feels like no one notices your effort. No one claps. No one says thank you. And that's okay, because you're not doing it for attention. You're doing it for the future you're creating, the version of you that refuses to quit. Staying committed when no one's watching separates leaders from followers. The followers wait for inspiration. Leaders create it. Followers wait for direction. Leaders move with purpose, even when the path is lonely, unclear, or unrewarded. Your habits reveal your values. When you consistently act with discipline in private, it means your goals matter more than your feelings. It means you respect your word, even when there's no audience to hear it. That's integrity. That's strength. External motivation fades. Internal motivation fuels you. You can't rely on applause forever. At some point, the only voice you'll hear is your own. And if that voice is strong, focused, and grounded, you'll move forward no matter what. Most people underestimate the power of small, private wins. One focused hour, one finished task, one completed workout. These victories build a foundation of self-respect that no failure can destroy. Each win in silence makes you louder in the world. Every time you show up when no one's watching, you cast a vote for the kind of person you want to be. It may not pay off instantly, but over time, those quiet votes build identity, and identity drives results. You become who you repeatedly are. Success loves consistency, not loud starts, not dramatic bursts, but quiet, relentless effort. If you can do the boring work day after day, you'll outlast the people who only show up when it's fun, new, or exciting. When no one is watching, there are no shortcuts. There is no pretending. It's just you and the truth. And in that space, you have two choices. Give in to comfort or grow through discipline. What you choose in that moment defines everything else. Stop relying on being watched to stay accountable. You won't always have a coach, a camera, or a crowd, but you'll always have yourself. If you can stay loyal to your purpose in private, you'll never need someone to push you in public. Let your goals be louder than your excuses. When no one's watching, excuses will try to sneak in. But your vision must stand taller. Remind yourself, I didn't come this far to break promises to myself. I'm not doing it for them. I'm doing it for me. Use solitude as strength. Time alone is not wasted. It's where you sharpen your mindset, strengthen your routine, and remove distractions. When the world goes quiet, your focus can grow. That's where champions are made, not in crowds, but in commitment. You don't need to prove anything to anyone except yourself. Staying committed in silence is proof that you've matured. You no longer act for approval. You act because you believe in your mission, and that belief carries more weight than applause ever will. Self-respect comes from private discipline. It comes from doing what's right, especially when it would be easier not to. That kind of integrity builds quiet pride, and that pride gives you energy when everything else fades. Remember, every champion was once unseen. Every expert was once unknown. Every legacy began in private. If you're in the shadows now, good. Use it. Build in the dark, and trust that the light will come when you're ready to stand in it. There's a different level of power in someone who trains without praise, who works without needing to be told, who shows up when it's hard and keeps going because their future depends on it. Be that person. Build that power. Stay committed when no one's watching. Because the life you want isn't built by what you do occasionally in front of others. It's built by what you do consistently when the world's not paying attention. That's where the real you is formed. You don't need validation to be valuable. Your worth is not proven by how many people notice your effort. It's proven by your consistency in silence. When you keep showing up, even when no one cares, you prove to yourself that your mission matters more than the moment. Private victories build public confidence. Every rep you finish alone, every journal entry, every quiet step forward, it all adds up. You don't need anyone to see it for it to matter. Your confidence will be built from that quiet stack of unseen wins. Most people give up when things go quiet. They mistake stillness for failure. But the truth is, silence is part of success. It's the space where your roots grow deeper, where your character is formed, where your strength is tested and built. Those who wait to feel ready before they act will always fall behind those who act, regardless of how they feel. In the silence, in the dull days, in the grind, those are the moments that build discipline stronger than any burst of motivation ever could. When you stay consistent in private, you develop self-trust. You become someone who does what they say every time. That kind of relationship with yourself is rare, and it's powerful. It makes you unstoppable because you no longer doubt your follow-through. Committing in silence teaches you to lead yourself, to create your own energy, to push when no one is pushing you. That self-leadership is what separates temporary effort from lasting greatness. No one can take it from you because no one gave it to you. Your private routines define your public results. You can't fake excellence. You can't shortcut mastery. If you want to perform when it matters, you have to prepare when it feels boring. Quiet discipline always shows up when the spotlight turns on. Every small decision matters. Skipping the task, delaying the workout, postponing the goal. These moments may seem small, but they shape who you become. And the opposite is also true. Every time you keep going when no one's watching, you elevate who you are. You don't need inspiration to act. You need a system. When you rely on feelings, your effort becomes unstable. But when you rely on structure, discipline, and consistency, you become bulletproof. Create habits so solid that your emotions don't decide your outcomes. Loneliness in the process is not a sign of failure. It's a sign that you're building something uncommon. Most people won't understand your path, especially early on. But you're not here for them. You're here to honor the commitment you made to yourself. Let the silence be your training ground. Let the hard days strengthen your resolve. Let the solitude sharpen your vision. Not every season is for growth people can see. Some seasons are for growing roots so deep storms can't shake you. You weren't made to be average. And average effort will never bring you to your full potential. The price of greatness is doing what's necessary when it's invisible, thankless, and exhausting. That's the cost. That's also the reward. Think of your private discipline as deposits into a bank account. You might not see the balance rise right away, but keep going. One day, you'll look back and realize that quiet consistency turned into confidence, clarity, and success. Hold yourself to a higher standard even when no one else will. Don't lower your effort just because no one's watching. Set the bar high, not for recognition, but for pride. The kind of pride that comes from knowing you gave your all when it would have been easier not to. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is show up again, not for applause, not for praise, but because you promised yourself you would. That level of personal integrity is rare, and it's what builds a legacy. What you do in the dark prepares you for the light. If you can thrive in silence, you'll never depend on noise. If you can lead yourself through isolation, you'll never fear being alone. That's how you become mentally unshakable. There's a difference between being unnoticed and being unworthy. Just because they don't see you doesn't mean you're not growing. Some of the greatest achievements begin in obscurity. Be patient. Stay steady. Your time will come, but only if you keep going. Don't underestimate the power of one more day of effort, one more page read, one more rep, one more early morning. Most people quit too soon, not knowing how close they were. If you can push through the quiet, you'll find strength you didn't know you had. Quiet progress is still progress. And often, it's the most authentic kind. There are no filters, no fans, just focus, just purpose, just you and the path you've chosen. That's when you know it's real. That's when you know you're ready. So keep going, especially when it's quiet, especially when it's hard, especially when it feels like no one sees you. Because those are the exact moments that define you. that build you, that prepare you for everything you say you want. Chapter 10. Becoming the person you deserve to be. Becoming the person you deserve to be starts with one bold truth. You are not stuck. You are not finished. You are a work in progress, and the direction of that progress is in your hands. No one else can become that version of you. It's your job, your mission, your responsibility. The version of you that you dream about isn't found, it's built. It's built in hard choices, quiet mornings, late-night effort, and relentless belief. You don't become great by accident. You become great by design, by deciding to outgrow who you've been. It's easy to admire others who have transformed themselves. But their journey started exactly where you are now, with discomfort, doubt, and a decision to stop settling, to stop waiting, and to start becoming who they were always meant to be. You won't become the best version of yourself by doing what you've always done. Growth requires change, and change requires courage. You'll need to unlearn habits, challenge beliefs, and leave behind the comfort that's been holding you back. Your future self is watching who you're becoming today. Every choice you make, every habit you build, every moment you show up with discipline, that's who you're becoming. The person you deserve to be isn't some fantasy, it's the result of daily effort. Becoming your best self doesn't mean fixing what's broken, it means activating what's been buried. Your potential, your power, your confidence, it's all there. You just need to stop feeding the parts of you that shrink and start feeding the parts that rise. You can't become the person you deserve to be while staying loyal to the habits that made you unhappy. It's not just about adding new things, it's about letting go. Letting go of excuses, letting go of old stories, letting go of patterns that no longer serve you. There's a version of you who wakes up with purpose, who doesn't second-guess every decision, who walks with confidence, speaks with clarity, and acts with conviction. That version isn't a fantasy. That version is built through discipline, healing, and belief. Stop waiting for the perfect time to begin. The perfect version of you will never arrive unless you start building it now, imperfectly, messily, but intentionally. Waiting won't change you. Action will. You deserve to be someone you're proud of, someone who keeps promises to themselves, someone who honors their word, their time, and their worth. Becoming that person means being honest about what's holding you back and being bold enough to change it. You won't always feel like you're becoming someone great. Some days you'll feel tired. Some days you'll feel stuck. But trust the process. Trust the small steps. Because transformation doesn't happen all at once. It happens quietly, consistently, over time. Self-respect is earned, not from others, but from yourself. When you take action despite fear, when you push through resistance, when you choose growth over comfort, that's when you look in the mirror and see someone becoming powerful. Becoming the person you deserve to be means raising your standards. It means not allowing laziness to run your day, not letting fear write your story, not waiting for motivation. It means deciding that your life is worth the effort. The most powerful version of you is already inside you, but it's buried under years of hesitation, comfort, and distraction. You don't need to find new potential. You need to clear the path to what's already there. Strip away the noise and rise. You have to believe that you are capable of change. Not just surface-level changes, but deep, lasting transformation. You're not limited to who you were last year or even yesterday. You can reinvent, redefine, and reclaim your identity starting now. Don't chase perfection, chase alignment. When your thoughts, actions, and values match who you want to become, you create peace. You stop pretending, you stop performing. You start living a life that feels honest and powerful. You'll lose people along the way. That's part of becoming who you're meant to be. Not everyone will understand your vision. Some will try to pull you back. Let them go. You don't need everyone. You need people who see your growth and support it. Becoming your best self requires brutal honesty. Ask yourself, where am I holding myself back? What excuses do I keep using? What would the best version of me do differently today? These answers hold the key to your next level. Never confuse comfort with happiness. Growth will challenge you, stretch you, and sometimes even hurt. But it will also elevate you. And that elevation brings a sense of pride and purpose that comfort could never give. You owe it to yourself to become someone powerful, not just for success or achievement, but for peace, for strength, for the legacy you'll leave behind. Every step forward is a statement. I refuse to live below my potential. You don't need to announce who you're becoming, just become it. Let your actions speak louder than your declarations. Quiet progress is powerful. Every time you choose to grow in silence, you're becoming someone who doesn't need validation, just purpose. The person you deserve to be doesn't make excuses. They find solutions. They don't wait for the perfect mood to act. They lead themselves through fatigue, through fear, through distraction, because their mission is stronger than their comfort. Becoming someone better doesn't mean hating who you are now. It means loving yourself enough to evolve. You honor who you are by becoming more, not for the world, but for yourself, for the version of you that's been waiting to come alive. You'll notice a shift when you start becoming that person. Your tolerance for drama lowers. Your patience for excuses disappears. You'll stop explaining yourself and start protecting your energy. This is growth. This is alignment. Start doing the things that your future self will thank you for. Eat better, think clearer, speak with intention, set boundaries, keep promises. All of these habits create momentum, and momentum builds identity. You're not behind, you're just beginning. Don't compare your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 20. Every person you admire started where you are, uncertain, uncomfortable, and unsure. But they kept going, and that's all that matters. Redefine what success means to you. It's not just money, status, or recognition. It's peace of mind. It's self-trust. It's waking up and knowing that who you are matches what you say. That kind of alignment is the foundation of a strong life. Becoming that person requires sacrifice. You'll have to let go of temporary pleasures for long-term power. You'll miss some parties, cancel distractions, and spend more time alone. But what you gain, clarity, peace, control, is worth every trade. Challenge yourself daily, not just physically, but mentally and emotionally. Ask deeper questions, do harder tasks, face uncomfortable truths. The more you challenge yourself, the more unshakable you become. You can't evolve with the same mindset that kept you small. Growth demands new thinking, new standards, new environments. If you want different results, you have to think and live differently, consistently. Becoming your best self doesn't mean you'll always feel motivated. It means you've decided who you want to be, and you act in alignment with that, even when it's hard. Especially when it's hard. You'll never regret showing up for yourself. You may regret wasting time, ignoring your potential, or playing small, but you'll never regret the work you put into becoming someone strong, wise, and disciplined. Cut the noise. The world will try to distract you, slow you down, or water down your vision. But you didn't come this far to lose focus. Protect your vision. It's your responsibility. No one else can do it for you. Hold yourself to a higher standard, not because you're better than others, but because you know who you can be. The higher the standard, the clearer the path. Stop lowering the bar just to stay comfortable. Keep a vision of your future self in your mind every day. Visualize how they talk, how they walk, how they lead. Then start behaving like that person today. Over time, your behavior catches up to your belief. The person you deserve to be is not found in shortcuts. They're revealed in the long way, in the slow mornings, in the daily reps, in the uncomfortable numbers. That's where real power is built, not overnight, but over time. Forgive yourself for who you've been. Every mistake, every delay, every moment of weakness, it was part of the journey. Use it. Learn from it. Then let it go. Because the only way forward is through acceptance and action. Respect your own effort. Give yourself credit for the times you chose growth when it would have been easier to give up. Celebrate the version of you that keeps fighting for a better life. That version is becoming something unstoppable. Remind yourself often, you are allowed to change. You're allowed to grow past your past. You're allowed to become someone that surprises even you. Your old story doesn't define your new future. Your decisions do. And finally, keep going. Becoming the person you deserve to be is not about perfection. It's about direction. Keep choosing better. Keep showing up. Keep becoming. Your best self is waiting on the other side of your consistency. Chapter 11. Holding yourself accountable every day. Accountability starts with a promise to yourself, not to impress others, not to check a box, but because you said you would. Real growth begins when you stop breaking that promise, even on the days no one else knows or cares. Holding yourself accountable means no longer blaming time, people, or circumstances. Life isn't always fair, but your response is always your responsibility. Accountability is owning your choices, good or bad, and learning from them instead of running from them. Each day is an opportunity to show up for your goals, not in theory, not in talk, but in action. You don't need motivation every day. You need to be honest. Did I do what I said I'd do today? That question alone can change your life. Excuses are easy. Justifications sound reasonable. But every time you let yourself off the hook, you weaken your discipline. Accountability isn't about guilt. It's about alignment. When your actions match your intentions, confidence grows. You can't grow if you're always avoiding discomfort. Accountability requires honesty. Sometimes that honesty stings. Sometimes it reveals laziness or fear. But without truth, there's no transformation. Real power comes from facing yourself fully. Track your progress, even when it's small. A checklist, a journal, a calendar. When you can see what you've done or haven't done, it creates clarity. Clarity removes confusion. And with clarity, there's no place for lies or denial. Self-accountability is the highest form of discipline. It's easy to follow rules when someone's watching. But greatness comes from choosing the hard right over the easy wrong, even when no one's checking. Most people fail because they rely on emotion instead of structure. When you're tired, discouraged, or distracted, feelings take over. But structure saves you. A plan saves you. Self-check-ins save you. Discipline becomes your safety net. Stop saying I'll try. Start saying I will. Accountability is found in language. Vague words lead to vague actions. Clear commitments lead to clear results. Be specific. Be firm. Be bold with your promises. Be your own coach. Ask yourself tough questions. What am I avoiding? What habit is costing me results? What do I keep postponing that I need to start now? Your answers will lead to change, if you're brave enough to listen. Accountability is not about doing more. It's about doing what matters most. It's about saying no to distractions and yes to your mission. It's choosing alignment over busyness, progress over perfection, excellence over excuses. Every day, review your choices. Did you move closer to your goals or further away? Did you honor your word or break it? This simple reflection keeps you on track, not to shame yourself, but to adjust, refocus, and move forward stronger. When you break a commitment to yourself, don't hide from it. Correct it. Missed a workout? Do the next one. Skipped a goal? Reset and re-engage. Accountability is not about never falling. It's about rising faster and smarter each time. Create a system that holds you to your highest self. Whether it's a morning routine, an end-of-day review, or weekly goals, make accountability part of your lifestyle. The more you make it normal, the less likely you'll drift. Don't lie to yourself to feel better. If you didn't do the work, admit it. That honesty stings, but it also frees you, because now you're no longer trapped in denial. You're standing in truth. And truth is the foundation of progress. Surround yourself with people who hold you higher, not people who let you slide. But even when you're alone, you must still lead yourself. You're not doing this to please others. You're doing it because your future depends on it. Rewards will come later, but for now, the win is doing what you said you'd do. That is the daily victory. That is how you build trust. Not with results, but with repetition. Accountability compounds into self-respect. You don't need to be perfect. You need to be consistent. Show up messy, show up tired, show up unsure, but show up. Because every day you do, you're casting another vote for the person you promised yourself you'd become. Make your standards visible. Write them down. Review them daily. Speak them aloud. Your standards become your compass, and accountability is the path you walk to stay aligned with them, especially when life tries to pull you off track. At the end of the day, you are the only one who truly knows whether you gave your best. Be proud of the days you held yourself accountable, even when it was hard. That quiet pride is stronger than any praise. That's what growth feels like. That's how you win. The moment you stop needing someone to remind you, push you, or check on you, everything changes. You reclaim your power. You become the one who leads yourself through resistance, distractions, and uncertainty. That's self-mastery. That's accountability. Accountability is not just a mindset, it's a standard. It's refusing to negotiate with laziness. It's calling yourself out when your effort slips. It's refusing to accept average from someone capable of excellence, yourself. You don't need punishment to grow, you need awareness. When you miss a target, don't hide. Look at what happened, what distracted you, what choice cost you time. Growth doesn't come from guilt, it comes from learning and adjusting. You can't hold yourself accountable without clarity. Vague goals lead to vague action. But when your targets are specific, daily steps, deadlines, habits, your focus sharpens. You can't hold yourself to a goal you haven't clearly defined. The more you hold yourself accountable, the less you need external pressure. You stop relying on motivation and start relying on identity. You no longer say, "I want to be disciplined." You say, "I am disciplined." And that shift changes everything. If something matters, track it. Your habits, your time, your effort. Write it down. Seeing your wins and losses on paper makes the truth unavoidable. That awareness forces growth. It becomes impossible to lie to yourself when the numbers don't. You don't grow by setting goals. You grow by keeping promises. The size of the goal doesn't matter if you don't show up. Start small if you need to, but keep your word, even when no one else sees it, especially when no one else sees it. Holding yourself accountable builds quiet confidence. You stop second-guessing your potential. Why? Because you have proof. You've seen yourself show up when it was hard. That memory becomes your armor when the next challenge arrives. Your reputation with others starts with your reputation with yourself. If you constantly break your own promises, how can you expect others to trust your word? Start building trust where it matters most, with the person in the mirror. Remind yourself daily, you are not entitled to results you didn't earn. Wishing, planning, and dreaming are not substitutes for doing. Accountability means matching your desire with your discipline every single day. Self-accountability turns pressure into progress. Instead of blaming others, you ask, "What can I do about this?" That shift in mindset turns you from a passenger into the driver of your life. You stop waiting and start moving. No matter how small the task, treat it with purpose. Whether it's making your bed or finishing a workout, each completed action strengthens your identity. Your future isn't built in grand gestures, it's built in consistent effort. Avoid the trap of over-promising and under-delivering. It's better to commit to one powerful action and follow through than to plan 10 things and quit halfway. Accountability isn't about ambition, it's about follow-through. You are not your past inconsistency. You are who you choose to be today. Start now. Decide that today you will not make excuses. You will not drift. You will lead. And if you mess up, you'll own it and keep going. When life gets hard, accountability matters even more. Chaos, stress, and change will try to throw you off track. But your standards should not depend on comfort. They should be strong enough to carry you through discomfort. Create rituals that anchor you. Morning resets, nighttime reflections, weekly reviews. These routines are checkpoints that help you course correct before bad habits become your new normal. Systems are the foundation of accountability. Celebrate your discipline more than your results. Anyone can enjoy the win, but few celebrate the work. The real win is showing up. When you start taking pride in the process, you stop relying on outcomes to validate your effort. Let your actions catch up to your words. It's easy to talk about what you'll do. It's harder to prove it daily. But proof is what matters. Not for the world, but for your belief. When your actions match your language, self-respect skyrockets. Be relentless in your self-checks. Pause and ask, am I acting in alignment with my goals? If not, adjust. Don't wait for rock bottom. Don't wait for regret. Be honest. Be swift. Hold yourself to the highest version of who you can be. And when the day ends, reflect with courage. Did I lead or did I follow impulse? Did I grow or stay the same? Did I keep my promise? The answers matter, because accountability isn't something you do sometimes. It's something you live every day in everything. Chapter 12. Mastering self-respect through action. Self-respect isn't something you ask for, it's something you earn. And the way you earn it is through action, not promises, not words. What you repeatedly do is what teaches your mind whether or not to trust yourself. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, you send a powerful message. I matter. Self-respect is built through follow-through. It grows every time you do the hard thing you said you would do, even when no one is watching, even when it's uncomfortable. Respect doesn't start with how others treat you. It starts with how you treat yourself. When you constantly break your own word, you teach your mind that your goals are negotiable, that your standards are soft. But when you follow through, you build inner strength that no one can touch. Talk less. Do more. The more you act in alignment with your goals, the more your self-image improves. You begin to see yourself as capable, focused, and reliable, not because of what you say, but because of what you do consistently. Self-respect is choosing to rise when it would be easier to stay the same. It's saying no to comfort and yes to growth. It's walking away from what no longer serves you and walking toward what challenges you, even when the path is hard. You can't fake self-respect. You might wear confidence, speak with force, and look composed. But deep down, Your actions either align or they don't. And if you know you're not honoring your own standards, it's impossible to feel truly proud. Your environment matters. The people you surround yourself with, the routines you commit to, the energy you tolerate. It all reflects how much you value yourself. Self-respect means curating a life that reflects your worth, not your fear. Setting boundaries is an act of self-respect. Saying no when something disrespects your time, your peace, or your values is not selfish, it's self-honoring. You teach people how to treat you by how consistently you treat yourself with dignity. Take care of your body, not just for appearance, but because your health reflects how much you care. Fuel it, train it, rest it, not for validation, but because it deserves that effort. You deserve that effort. Respect isn't just mental, it's physical too. Don't tolerate things you know you've outgrown. The longer you stay in old patterns, the harder it is to break them. Self-respect means leaving what feels familiar but keeps you small, and choosing what stretches you into your full potential. Honor your time. Wasting hours on things that bring no value to your goals chips away at your self-worth. Start treating every hour like a brick. What kind of house are you building with the time you've been given? You gain self-respect by doing what's right, not what's easy. That means showing up when it's hard. It means doing the uncomfortable work. It means making sacrifices. But what you gain from that effort is something no one can take away from you. Let go of the need to be liked by everyone. Trying to please others at the cost of your peace is a quiet form of self-disrespect. The person you're becoming doesn't need approval, they need alignment. Choose respect over popularity. Speak to yourself with strength. Your inner voice should sound like someone who believes in your potential. Someone who holds you to your standards, not your slip-ups. You are listening, and what you say to yourself shapes what you become. Self-respect means apologizing when you're wrong, but also not apologizing for growing. Own your mistakes, learn from them, and evolve. But never shrink yourself to make others more comfortable with who you used to be. Take full responsibility for your outcomes. No more blaming, no more excuses. When you own your life, you take control of it. Victimhood kills self-respect. Leadership, especially self-leadership, brings it to life. Celebrate your discipline more than your rewards. Anyone can feel proud when they win. But if you can feel proud when you're deep in the process, when it's hard, slow, and lonely, that's when you know you're building something real. Clean up the spaces you live in. Organize your surroundings. Create order where there was once chaos. You teach yourself that you're worthy of living in peace, clarity, and focus. External environment reflects internal standards. Self-respect isn't loud. It's quiet. It's in how you carry yourself, how you handle pressure, how you recover from failure. It's the silent pride you feel knowing that today you showed up as the person you said you would be. And remember, self-respect is not a destination. It's a daily practice. Every action is a vote. Every decision is a statement. And every moment is a chance to choose yourself again. The more you do, the more powerful you become. Self-respect is choosing the difficult path when it aligns with your purpose. It means you don't back down just because the work is hard or the reward is slow. You keep going because your identity demands it, not your comfort, but your standard. Every time you let your excuses win, you shrink your identity. But every time you act anyway, despite fear, despite fatigue, you expand who you are. That expansion is self-respect in motion. It says, I am greater than my resistance. You gain strength when you make decisions based on your values, not your emotions. Feelings change, standards don't. Self-respect is built when you stick to what you said you'd do, even when your mood tries to talk you out of it. It's not just about pushing harder, It's also about protecting what matters. You respect yourself by saying no to toxic conversations, draining routines, and low-energy environments. You create space for focus by removing noise. Don't measure your worth by how much you produce. Measure it by how you show up. Self-respect doesn't always look like achievement. It often looks like consistency, honesty, and the quiet decision to keep going when no one else notices. Protect your peace. Overthinking, negative self-talk, and dwelling on failure are forms of self-sabotage. Self-respect steps in and says, "This is not helping me grow." Then it changes the thought, the environment, or the behavior. Start each day with a choice to rise. You don't need to feel ready. You just need to act with intention. The way you start your day often determines how you feel about yourself by the end of it. If you want others to respect you, let them watch you respect yourself. Not with words, but with action. The way you move, speak, respond, and lead sets the tone. People reflect back what you consistently model. Don't argue for your limitations. Every time you say, "I can't," without even trying, you give away your power. Self-respect means giving yourself a real chance, trying with full effort, and learning from the outcome, no matter what it is. The work isn't always glamorous. It's repetitive, quiet, and slow. But self-respect is forged in that repetition, in doing what needs to be done without shortcuts, without applause, with full integrity. Own your flaws, but don't use them as anchors. Self-respect means accepting where you are, but not settling for it. It's seeing both your weakness and your strength, and choosing every day to lean into the strength a little more. You can't hate yourself into a better version of you. Change doesn't come from shame. It comes from action rooted in care. Treat yourself like someone worth improving, not someone who needs to be punished into progress. Set goals that challenge you, not break you. Self-respect knows the difference between pushing limits and crossing them. Know when to rest and know when to rise. Discipline without compassion becomes destruction. Build rituals around your growth. Morning routines, planning sessions, quiet walks, things that ground you. Self-respect thrives in structure. It helps you move with clarity and makes room for focus when the world feels loud. Keep your circle clean. Not everyone deserves access to your energy. Not everyone honors your effort. Self-respect means making hard decisions about who gets close and who no longer belongs near your goals. Track your wins, big and small. Too often we remember the failure but forget the follow-through. Self-respect is built when you recognize your own effort. When you give yourself credit, not just criticism. Don't compare your path. Comparison weakens your view of your own progress. You're not supposed to match anyone. You're supposed to rise within your own journey. That's where self-respect is the strongest, in ownership of your unique growth. Be gentle, but be firm. Forgive your past. Accept your setbacks. But never, ever let yourself off the hook for giving less than your best. Self-respect grows strongest when compassion and high standards walk together. Say what you mean what you say, and back it up with action. There is no faster way to build self-respect than becoming a person whose words and actions are one and the same. Consistency is credibility. And above all, keep choosing yourself. Not because you're better than anyone, but because you finally believe you deserve to live a life that matches your values, your vision, and your strength. That's self-respect. And it's yours to build every day. Every time you delay what matters, you teach yourself that your goals can wait. Self-respect flips that script. It says, if it matters to me, it starts with me, and it starts now. Delay is often disguised disrespect, and discipline is how you undo it. The words you use with yourself matter. Saying "I'll try" instead of "I will" keeps the door open for failure. Self-respect requires firm language, clear choices, not maybe, not someday. Now you act like your word means something because it does. Avoiding responsibility doesn't protect your ego, it erodes your self-respect. Growth is not about being perfect, it's about owning your role in the process. When you take full responsibility, you regain control. That's where dignity lives. Don't depend on others to remind you of your value. When you respect yourself, external approval becomes a bonus, not a requirement. You stop needing attention. You stop chasing applause. You start moving with quiet certainty. Silence can be a sign of strength. You don't need to explain your growth to people who don't understand it. Let your progress speak. Let your energy shift. When your standards rise, the right people adjust, and the wrong ones fall away. Self-respect is not about arrogance. It's not about thinking you're better than others. It's about treating yourself like someone with purpose, someone with vision, someone who has something meaningful to offer the world. You can start over at any moment. The power of self-respect is that it isn't dependent on a perfect past. It's born from present choices. If you've failed, slacked, or shrunk before, so what? Choose differently today, and again tomorrow. The mind learns from patterns. If you repeatedly give up when it's hard, your brain expects you to quit. But if you start pushing through, even in small ways, your brain rewires itself to expect resilience. That rewiring is the foundation of self-respect. How you treat your time is how you treat yourself. Scattered routines, wasted hours, endless scrolling. These habits don't just drain your day, they drain your identity. You cannot feel powerful in chaos. Structure is a form of self-respect. There will be moments when your self-worth is tested, when you feel ignored, unseen, or misunderstood. But if you've been doing the work, you won't need outside validation to keep going. Your confidence will be internal, grounded, and unshakable. You teach others how to value your time, your boundaries, and your presence by how you manage them yourself. If you consistently overextend, people will expect it. But when you move with respect for your limits, they learn to match that energy. Take pride in your effort, not just your outcomes. It's easy to feel good when the results come. But self-respect means celebrating the process, even when it's slow, messy, and imperfect. That pride fuels you when results are delayed. Fear will always try to interrupt your growth, but fear and self-respect cannot coexist. You either choose your potential or you protect your insecurity. Both take energy, only one leads to freedom. When you feel overwhelmed, simplify. Go back to the core. What do I need to do today to honor myself? It might be rest, it might be work, it might be saying no. Self-respect is about tuning in, not pushing blindly. You don't need a big transformation overnight. You need small, steady acts of alignment. Wake up with intention, act with clarity, speak with purpose. Each act reinforces the identity you're building. Each one matters. Be kind to yourself, but don't be soft. Growth isn't passive. It requires pressure, commitment, and sacrifice. Self-respect holds space for both compassion and expectation. You're human, but you're capable of so much more than you think. When you build self-respect, you stop being available for distractions. You start guarding your peace, your time, your goals like they're sacred, because they are. You don't entertain what doesn't align with your future. Your tone, your walk, your posture, they all change when you're living in alignment. Self-respect radiates. You don't have to say a word. People feel it. They know they're in the presence of someone who knows exactly who they are. It's okay to evolve. It's okay to outgrow the version of you that tolerated less. Growth doesn't mean you were wrong before. It means you're finally ready to live as someone who chooses themselves without apology. And finally, know this: the way you treat yourself sets the tone for every part of your life. If you want better results, stronger relationships, and deeper peace, it starts with you. It starts with respecting yourself enough to never go backward again. No one can live your life for you. No one else feels your dreams the way you do. You owe it to yourself to show up fully, to fight for your future, and to honor the person you know you're capable of becoming. The world doesn't owe you anything, but you owe everything to yourself. Keep going when it's hard. Keep building when no one sees it. Keep growing even when no one claps. Because at the end of the day, it's your life, your path, and your responsibility. Own it and live it on your terms.